Hello everyone, Progressive Hoodie here. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. It is voting night and primaries and caucuses are happening in Idaho, Missouri, Mississippi, Michigan, Washington, and then there are caucuses in North Dakota. Polls are closing at 8 in most of these places. And so Eastern time. And so, we will find out after the polls close what's going to happen. There's 352 delegates up for grabs tonight. I want to talk a little bit more about what we would do, should tonight not go the way that a lot of us as progressives may want it to go. As of right now, things are not looking very good. I would say the state that Sanders needs to win the most would probably be Michigan, just because of the narrative around it is going to be, oh, this is a swing state. These are those elusive Obama to Trump voters that we're trying to win back. We're trying to get them back. And I just don't see Sanders having a very convincing argument moving forward if he can't even defeat Joe Biden in Michigan. Biden has the momentum right now. It is what it is. Ever since the Clyburn endorsement, you want to talk about somebody who owes, if he actually does become the nominee, his entire nomination and potentially the presidency, although I really do not see Joe Biden beating Trump, but his entire nomination to a black man. Joe Biden is that person. He owes it to two black men. Barack Obama, without being who's president, he would not even be considered as a viable option for president at all, and who basically coasted off the first part of this process when he first announced and got in and was the front runner for months and months and months. All that only happened because of Barack Obama and because of name recognition. It was very evident right from the start that as soon as you jumped in, everyone was like, oh, yeah, Biden, before they even had time to figure. You don't even know what he's going to do. He literally just jumped in the race. You're only supporting him because of name recognition and Obama. And that became real clear. And he also owes it to Clyburn, because that turnaround in South Carolina made the difference. And when you look at the exit polling from there, some half of the people said yes, Clyburn's endorsement made a difference. So there it is. And so ever since then, he has been having the momentum. He was after that, he became really the only centrist candidate, corporatist candidate, let's call it what it is, that had a shot at this thing. So Obama calls up these others, tells them, look, got to drop out. We know he called Pete. I don't know if we ever really verified that he actually called Amy Klobuchar, but what do you think? Use your critical thinking skills, people. Called them all up, told them, look, time to drop your hips out. Thanks. Get what you can out of it and get out of the race. And that's what exactly the heck they did. And then that boosted Joe Biden tremendously, especially because they didn't just drop out. They all dropped out. And with one voice, they stood up and endorsed Joe Biden. So he's got the nomination. And really, I haven't seen much that's changed with the Sanders campaign. I think it's a lot of wishful thinking on the part of a lot of the other Sanders people right now, to be honest with you. Oh, look, he's doing this thing slightly different. Oh, look, he's running this ad here. And I appreciate your optimism. I really do. At the end of the day, I don't see anything fundamentally that's changed about this campaign. I don't see any real big strategy changes that have happened in this campaign. He's still calling Joe Biden his daggone friend. Strom Thurmond's friend is your friend. So how are you all that much different? Now, look, I think Bernie Sanders is leagues different from Biden. But I'm saying in the minds of an average voter who's not spending that much time sorting through all of this, whenever this type of stuff is brought up, you let him off the hook. There was a woman in a town hall that was like, look, Joe Biden can't talk. You know it. We all know it. And she's basically like, why shouldn't we be concerned that the Democrats are about to nominate somebody who's in cognitive decline? And he's like, oh, look, he's my friend. I don't want to make this about personal attacks. So he's still doing this. He's still pulling punches left, right, and center. So I don't see anything that's changed there. Just because he's running a few different ads, that doesn't mean anything. Whenever you see him, he talks about it. It's Joe Biden's my friend. And I don't see anything real happening here. So the revolution lives on. This political revolution does not die with the Sanders campaign. If the Sanders campaign is done, that doesn't mean anything. We continue fighting for what we believe and what the change that we want to see in the system. Because those changes are not just ideological. They're not just, oh, well, because we are on the left, we want a left-wing agenda. No, we want a government that really truly is of, for, and by the people of the United States, right? We want a government where they actually are concerned about representing us. That's what we want to see. And that means that we've got to get money out of politics. We've got to make sure that they are accountable to us again. It's time to take to the streets. I've seen some rallies of Joe Biden's that have been interrupted. That's what needs to start happening now. Joe Biden shouldn't be able to speak at any place across this country. He shouldn't be able to give a speech in someone's backyard without people showing up and showing out. That's what should be happening all over this country. Anywhere that he shows his segregationist friendly face, we ought to be right there, staring right back at him. You can come at him about the deportations during Barack Obama's administration. That's fine. You could come at him about climate change, and it's basically non-planned for how to deal with that. That's totally cool. You could come at him about his banker-friendly ways and history, and looking at, it seems that we've found a way to get, I don't know if it's a short list or a list of potential people that he's considering for a cabinet. That may be another segment I do. You look at some of the names on that list. I mean, very revealing. You want to come at him about how friendly to bankers he's been, the bankruptcy bill, how it has ruined the lives of so many who are shackled with tremendous debt. All of those things are completely legitimate. I don't care what topic you use to come at him. It doesn't matter. But all over this country, we should be doing it. I mean, maybe the fact that his plan to deal with health insurance is going to leave millions of people uninsured. Maybe that's what we focus on. But no matter what it is you're passionate about, find a group that's protesting. Find a group that's doing. We got to make, like, and this brings me to my next point. Like, politicians are entirely too comfortable in the United States of America. Entirely too comfortable here. They just walk around and, oh my gosh, it's just fundraising and hanging out with celebrities and in the lap of luxury, somehow making millions and millions of dollars to be a public servant. How does that work, right? Hanging out with wealthy people, spending time on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Very little accountability from the media, really. I mean, unless they're trying to do something progressive, then, obviously that's going to be a problem. Or if it involves sex, because that's a salacious scandal, so they'll blow that up and make that a big deal. What people are doing in their own private lives, in their own bedrooms, right? That'll become a huge deal. But when it comes to actually holding them accountable, corruption, you got to be, we already have legalized corruption in this country. So you got to be just over the top ridiculous in order for there to be any real accountability surrounding corruption. So we just need to be honest with ourselves about that. These politicians walk around talking to people like they done lost their natural mind, talking to us like they're crazy. You know that you're in a political system that is that's broken when it is calling itself a democracy, calling itself a republic even, or a representative form of government, where those people are supposed to be representing your interests. And when they meet with people in public, they feel perfectly fine ignoring them, even with cameras on, ignoring them, not answering the questions. They feel perfectly comfortable telling them to F off, go vote for somebody else, boo yourself, you're BSing. These are all things that we've actually heard from these politicians. Body slamming a reporter. You know you're in a broken system when a person can body slam a reporter and the idiots in that person's constituency re-elect that person. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know something's off with this. This is backwards. You don't tell us to F off. We tell you to F off, if anything. Because at the end of the day, you work for us. It's we the people of the United States. You work for us. But they got that thing twisted, and they think that somehow we are the ones that are accountable to them. They can talk to us any old kind of way, disrespect us. It's hilarious to watch. It's really hilarious to watch. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired of seeing it. I'm disgusted with it. We need to rise up and demand that these people recognize where their power actually comes from. And if it doesn't come from us, then that right there is the sign right there that we are living in a broken political system, because it should be coming from the people. But see, they don't have a problem disrespecting you. Why? Because it doesn't come from you. Nobody cares about your vote. What they care about is the moneyed interest that back their campaigns, that put them out there and put them in the best light, so your little brainwashed, glazed over eyes can sit there and watch the television and be fed all this stuff. That's why a certain percentage of people voted for Bloomberg. I mean, in any rational world, especially the Democratic Party, you would think people would have enough sense to know that we're not going to vote for the stop and frisk guy. I mean, you want to talk about the way to guarantee that there's no black support when the general election comes around? Let's pick the stop and frisk guy. That's the safest way to do that. But yet people still did it, because they sit there and watch these polished commercials with him not even in half of them. I mean, it's just incredible what money and advertising will do for you. Bloomberg is selling a crap sandwich with the cherry on top, and people are looking at a nice commercial selling them a crap sandwich and going, that sounds good. I don't give Americans any credit in this country for being smart. I had an argument with someone on Twitter the other day where he's like, well, you need to respect other people's opinions. No, I'm sorry. I do not need to respect anyone's opinion. I respect informed opinions. Now, again, none of us are perfect and none of us have all the information. But if you can't even admit that, if you can't even admit that there's more for you to learn, there's more for me to learn. And if you can't admit that, that's a problem. And I'm not going to respect your opinion when it's formed based off of sitting down, watching nothing but mainstream media all day, where they brainwash you into thinking that a system where millions of people that are dying for a lack of health care is a rational or just system or a humane system. If you sit there and watch that and believe that garbage, I'm not going to respect your opinion. And I'm even more so not going to respect your opinion when it's bought and paid for by wealthy campaign contributors and billionaires who fund your run for president. I'm not going to respect. You got to respect that I think differently about healthcare for all. No, I don't. I don't have to respect that. I don't have to respect a bought and paid for opinion. If you have a real deep, principled reason for why you disagree with funding healthcare that way, then we can have a discussion. I'm probably still not going to agree with you, but at least you're coming from a principled place. But these politicians aren't coming from anywhere principled. We know they're not, because the same people that were bashing Joe Biden and acting like he was the reason for all the problems that we have in the country when they were running against him are the same ones that are coming out and doing full-throated endorsements of Joe Biden right now. So you can't take anything these people say seriously because they're not actually principled. And the few that are, like Bernie Sanders, are too principled. They won't use any political advantage that they have unless it's 100% above board to do so. I mean, you got Joe Biden here basically with his brain melting out of his ears, and Bernie Sanders is like, no, he's my friend. I think he's doing all right. Dude, he's forgetting to swallow. Like, we have a problem. No, I think he's doing good. You know, look, I don't know what you do in a system like that other than take to the streets. I mean, unfortunately, there's a certain percentage of people that aren't going to see it otherwise. They're going to just continue to be in a daze. You got to get people's attention. Politicians way too comfortable in this country. Which brings me to my last point, which is that, you know what, we the American people are too comfortable in this country. Just sitting back on your lazy boy recliner, clicking on the television, watching all those cartoons. Meanwhile, the world is practically melting around us. Radioactive waste and fires going everywhere and all this crazy crap. And we're just like, yeah, everything's looking great out there, you know, because they're not even paying attention. It takes someone that sees it to open your window and let the light of real truth come in. Oh, that light of truth that we all try to run away from. That's why they don't like Trump. That's right, that's why they don't like Trump. I'm not saying Trump is truthful, relax. But under the fluorescent orange lights of the Trump administration, all the sins of our country are laid bare. And I think we see, especially those of us who are actually principled, that not much has changed under the Trump administration. Don't get me wrong, it's terrible. But it's terrible in a lot of the ways that it already was terrible. Under Trump, our country sucks in a lot of the ways it already sucked prior to Trump. What meaningful difference has there been? Oh, all the deportations, you don't like that? Yeah, how many deportations was there under Obama? The interventions, the fighting of the wars, he claimed he was going to do that and cancel those wars, bring us out, bring our troops home. Yeah, but what happened with Obama? We saw 2 interventions become what, 7, 8 under his watch. Oh, we don't like it because of the bankers and the rich people and the neocons in his cabinet. Where did these warmongering neoconservatives come from? I mean, these were the same people that were around during the Bush administration, some of them. I mean, Bolton, that's Bush administration garbage. I mean, and I'm still, to this day, holding on to the fact that I don't think Trump is worse than Bush. I'm still not letting that go. No one has been able to show me anything that he's worse than Bush. He's stupid. Bush was stupid. He's warmongering, getting us in all this crazy stuff. Bush started half this garbage, okay? He brought us into a war on lies. I would say just the Iraq war in and of itself is worse than anything Trump's done. That's the worst foreign policy disaster pretty much in the history of the freaking country. He managed to make Vietnam look like child's play, patty cake, when it comes to foreign policy blunders and stupidity with the Iraq war. And you're going to fearmonger about Trump and think that I'm going to vote for the Democrat just because Trump's the other option? No. I mean, I'm certainly not going to vote for Trump. But I'm not going to show up for Joe Biden just because Trump. You're going to have to give me a substantive reason. So once we get into this election, we'll see if they do. Here's what I'm betting. No. I've been wrong about a lot. I was wrong for thinking that Joe Biden would be out of the race after South Carolina. What I didn't predict, and what has made a tremendous difference on this is, as many people have said, the empire has struck back. The establishment has risen up. But that's exactly what's been frustrating to me about watching the Sanders campaign. They said in the Hunger Games, moves and counter moves. Where are the counter moves? What are we doing to fight back against this effectively? You can't keep doing the same thing you've already been doing. You got to vary it up. When you start to see them changing their strategy, it ought to change your strategy. Can you imagine playing chess against someone who doesn't ever adjust to your strategy at all? Talk about the easiest chess game to win ever. They decided they were going to go with this set plan that they had in their mind and Now that you're making different moves than they anticipated, they don't care if they just continue to do the same stupid match that they were already doing, and it gets stupider and stupider as it goes. Why? Because as you watch it, it becomes clear this person is not reacting to what's happening on the other side of the board. You're just moving pieces around to fit some pretty pattern that they had predetermined in their puny brain. But now, I feel that's where we are. I feel like we're in a position where some of the establishment's moves have been a little bit surprising to us. But nothing's changing. Nothing's fundamentally changing to react to it in real time. We're not really effectively going after Joe Biden not being able to talk. Well, guess what? When Trump comes to the chessboard, all bets going to be off. She's not going to sit there and go, oh, well, we shouldn't make that move. That's kind of a dirty move. No, all moves will be made. Dirty moves, extra queens will be added to the board. Like, whatever he's got to do. Whatever he's got to do. Because Trump does not plan on giving up power to Joe Biden. To senile Joe Biden. I just don't see it happening. He wants another term. And you know, you gotta want it that bad. You gotta want it bad enough to do whatever it is that is necessary in order to secure it. You gotta respond to what's happening around you. You can't just come up with a plan and then not adjust when different things start happening around you. And personally, I don't feel like the Sanders campaign has done anywhere near enough to adjust to what's been going on around them. And that's disappointing to see. But again, this movement is not dependent on the Sanders campaign. His whole campaign slogan is not me, us. It really is truly about us. Bernie Sanders has done an amazing job of getting these ideas out into the spotlight and into the mainstream. And for that, I will be forever grateful to him and his campaign. Hope that's it for now. I hope everyone has a wonderful Tuesday. Please enjoy yourself. Again, relax. Don't allow this to stress you out. This is not the end. I don't care what anybody tells you. You lift your head up. You keep fighting. This is not the end. We will be victorious. We are ascendant. We are not going to give up. Deuces.